It is the Matt Mosley Show right here on Rogue Media Network. And boy, lots to get to today. Welcome in a lot of Baylor fans. I've got some NFL stuff. So in the second hour, we got Ashley Hodge, SicEm365, joining us. We'll talk hoops. We'll also talk about the game the other day because he and I were both up in the press box for that. And but I've got a lot of NFL stuff to run by you based on yesterday's games. We've already reacted, obviously, Friday to the whole Cowboys game, Thursday, and what happened there. But, man, I got to say, Scotty, from what I could tell, you and I did some, solid work for the green and gold pregame. Ganaway was awesome. But right before kickoff, I went on with Faith and Jackson, and, man, they were on a roll, great chemistry. So I'm just going to let them do it the rest of the season, buddy. I've talked to everybody, so I'm probably just going to turn it over to them. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that was amazing to roll out of bed and just be 10 minutes away from the stadium and have a game in my backyard. That was awesome. So, Scotty, all the hard work you put in, our friends at KWTX, again, from what I could tell, I was on the SMU campus moving and grooving, and I'm sure there's some things we'll polish up as we continue on with our exciting new pregame show. But, boy, they sounded great. And then Faith, and it was funny because, I did my hit I left the field because I thought it was too loud. And I went and I thought I'll get to a quiet place down by some of these suites where nobody's making much noise. I'll get away from the media. And sure enough, as I start my little hit there comes Mac. There comes President Livingstone. I mean, they're the whole crew, and they're all very kind. They're coming up to visit with me. And so I should have gone over to the SMU side to conduct that because they don't know me, and perhaps they would not have been talking to me. But Mac was fired up for the game, got a slap on the rear. He gave me a big slap, kind of like, let's go, let's play ball, Mosley. Not that I was going to be doing anything, but we had it was good. So, Scotty, I just got to say, first of all, I'll start plowing through the game, and you and I will do some Campus Confidential. And I think as our folks continue to understand, this needs to be like overreaction Monday to Baylor games. This is going to become like a huge place for that. It needs to because we got lots of thoughts. I got mad at a security guard the other night. The great Jerry Hill, longtime Baylor, he's with Baylor for a lot of years now, but he used to be with the Waco Trib. We were down there trying to get to the locker room in time or get to the postgame, and the Baylor team came. They started coming at us, and so we were going to get off to the side and figure all that out. And a security guard put his hands on Jerry, almost shoved him up against a wall. And I almost did a Lamar Jackson, kind of what he did for the Ravens last night. It was like I almost gave the guy a shove, hands off Jerry Hill. Jerry's about a decade or so older than I am. We both still have vit and vigor in us. We're still up for a fight if need be. I don't think that would have been wise for me to shove a security guard, but I came so close. Do not put your hands on my guy, Jerry Hill. That was wrong. But, I mean, it was kind of cool, though, not that part of it. But, Scotty, we had, the Baylor teams coming off the field. They're doing their chants. I will not repeat it. It was not like a Baptist chant. This was more like a Methodist or Presbyterian type chant. It was spicy, some of the things they were saying. And there I was kind of reacting to it. Having a big time, and then just kind of watching you could just imagine what that release was like, to be down 38-24, to have like a 1.5% chance of winning the game, according to ESPN. Now, Scotty, if you're wondering, Mosley's, home studio, things are sounding a little bit echoey today. Well, I came up, and unbeknownst to me, Scotty, my wife, she's unbelievable. She's an interior designer. She is like, unbelievable at this stuff. The Oriental rug, can we still call it that? The carpet that's been in my office for many years, just gone. It's all hardwoods. So I feel like the things that used to kind of absorb the sound are now missing. So I don't know if I need to go find some carpet or something. But yeah, I just want you to know, I don't know if the camera can pick it up. Let me see if I can pull. Let me go away. Now you can't really see the floor. Anyway, carpet's just missing. So things change, okay? Our daughter has gone to A&M. She's betrayed us all, and she's gone to A&M, and she's left us. And so we're empty nesting, and we're trying to figure this thing out. Hey, where does she want to be this weekend? Baylor Samford. All right. She's just like, I want to come to the Baylor game. So still has the love of the Bears. And that'll be exciting. All right. And that's cool too, because today a bunch of our friends that are seniors at her high school are visiting Baylor. So that's pretty awesome. Jovi, Caroline, Will. We got lots of Baylor visitors. So what a great weekend to do it while everybody's exciting over a huge win over the Mustangs. And it was all I could do to stay professional, Scotty, as I walked out and I saw the scowls and the sadness on the SMU faces. The only person who honestly was still in a decent mood, the outgoing SMU president, the president emeritus, Gerald Turner. I've always thought that guy was a pretty cool guy. And we ran into him as we're making our way down to the postgame news conference, and he kind of has a joke for us. Jerry and I and Max Calderon and Zach and Bryce, we're moving and grooving, trying to get to the postgame presser. And the SMU president goes, fellas, we're going to need a toll to pass through here. He had a good little joke. Like I kind of got to say. Now, Scotty, we'll hear more about what you were doing because you were the best man at your best buddy's wedding, a guy you met early in your time at Baylor. He got married. He would have been, I guess, getting married in his early 30s. There it is. I feel like this is when we do Taylor Swift and Jason Kelsey. We need photos. We need photos from this wedding. I'd like to see visual evidence of a young Scotty Swingler with no cap on, with maybe product in his hair. He'd just gone to Sports Clips or wherever he goes, and up there in a tuxedo, standing by his man. Scotty, announce to us who got married, these nuptials. Give us the bride and groom, and let's give them a shout out on the Mosley Show, which has to be one of the biggest things that could happen to them, other than getting married. A shout out on the new live Mosley Show that's about to start farming. We're about to bring in an unbelievable amount of subscribers because I'm really figuring this out. But give us the name of these folks.
My Baylor roommate, Ryan Craig Martin, married Jillian Vargas, and it was lovely. It was a great time. I delivered the best man toast of the century.
Yeah.
A fine time had by all.
I'll be the judge of that. If anybody recorded it, please send it to Mosley. I'll be throwing my email out there, my Twitter handle. I'd like to get a look at it. I've done several. I still think one I did for Chase Palmer in East Texas I think I had a good run at that one. I was not his best man. My best line always when I would speak at these things when I wasn't the best man was like, I'd do this thing as a misdirection joke. And I'd stand up, like when Blair Browning, who's a famous Baylor professor, he does sing and pigskin and all. He had, like, I should have been his best man. I was his best friend at the time. I think still am to a certain extent, although he seems to show up next to Jeremy Fudge at all times now. But at his wedding, at his rehearsal, I said something along the lines of, I'd kind of worked on the joke a little bit. And it was like, you're like a Blair. You're like all these years we've been together. I kind of almost act like I'm getting emotional. You've been like a brother to me. I say all these kind things, and I go, and that's why I'm mad as hell. I'm not the best man. And it just hit, man. It hit so like when you do the misdirection on them, the audience, they're not ready for it because you get them in a real kind of soulful, somber mood, and then you hit them with a right. So anyway,
I had a couple. Yeah. I had a couple of those in my speech, Mosley. I'll find it and I'll get it to you. I'll let you be I'll let you grade. I'll let you grade me. Evaluate some positive, constructive feedback. We'll get that done.
My own rehearsal dinner where I got up and spoke. I think I hit that. I think that one right there, because I did a little bit longer talk and it went like 8 to 10 minutes. And it was back when now I kind of like to have notes in front of me. I just remember I laid it all out on a bunch of note cards, but then I got it in my head. And if I can do that, if I can get the whole thing in my head where I'm not on notes, that allows me to be real extemporaneous and everything seems way more natural. Like when our family got some big first family award, the Baylor Line Foundation, and the president was there, I went way too strong with notes. Like I kind of was reading it and it wasn't me. It wasn't. So I gotta, if I'm on notes, that's a problem. I got to get like these pastors that have manuscripts. I wonder if your man, John Durham, I bet he does a manuscript, but I bet he's really good at like not getting married to the manuscript. But he's probably a professional enough where he's probably up there with an actual one. He may put it on his iPad or whatever, but he probably does have a manuscript up there. But he's probably so good at doing it that he's probably not leaning on it too much. But anyway, Scotty, we're happy for Vargas. That's a cool name. Whatever you said her first name was. I like that first. I like her first name. Jillian's a cool name.
She married Ryan. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like him. In fact, Ryan, whatever you said his last name was, I went to a school with a guy, the same name. Ryan Martin, did you say that?
Yes.
Ryan Martin was an SAE at Baylor, but this, I think, is a different Ryan Martin. Ryan Martin and seemed to date the Kappas back in the day. I don't know what this Ryan did, but anyway, we would all end up at Monmouth together. That was always a good time. Do they still do Monmouth at Baylor, Scotty? Does that event still exist?
Not that I know of.
Oh no. All right. That was a big deal. All right. Bears win. And I mean, it was one of the great, I'm sitting there in the press box and I love it. That's fine. You want to roll a little bit of that. That's good. We got some highlights going here. Early in the game, let me find my real glasses. Yeah, boy, Scotty, it got off to a horrific start. There's the first play from scrimmage. Romeo somebody, or I don't know what this guy's name was, but there he is, and LeVar Thornton has a great shot at it. Now, that play right there, not that I'm going to start doing highlights. Scotty will get nervous if I just start doing every highlight. I thought when the Bears were down 10-0 and it was not looking good, that Fobbs White, who transferred in from, let's call it Tulane or somewhere like that, linebacker, he makes a play and makes a hit on Jennings. And it was the first moment of the game, the Bears kind of said, we're here. We have arrived, and we're going to play some ball. And I thought that kind of woke up the sideline a little bit. Now, this was one of those games, as you watch some of this, and I got to say, Scotty, the Bear faithful, they did show up. And they were kind of scattered throughout. I think some of them were in 113. Some of them were actually in 119, I think. But this was a game where you had a couple of things happen. It's a good thing when you have maybe a top 3 quarterback in the country, maybe a guy, and Scotty and I are going to talk about this. I think it's time you've played 2 quality opponents. You beat one of them, and he's thrown for like 800 and 60 yards through 2 games. It's time to start revving up the Heisman campaign. This is not a year to sit on your hands and go, let's let this play out. Let's let this thing play out. No. When your quarterback's off to that hot of a start, let's get out there. Let's get this thing going. And I have some thoughts on that. But I got to say, and this is why I love Scotty. I'm not the easiest person, and Scotty's got other stuff going on in the morning. I'm not the easiest guy to communicate with, but I love having some of this to show you. And this is why this is more than a radio show, which what I've done for 20 years. What I love about what the Bears did, there's a few things I want to hit on. One of those is instead of, and they knew their only ticket was Sawyer beating the Mustangs through the air. They knew that. But you know what? Late in the game, especially, they kept the Mustangs honest. Mustangs had no clue how to cover the Bears, but the Bears mixed in the run game and with Bryson Washington and even Knighton, and it was important. And what it reminded me of, especially on that final fateful drive of regulation, when they were coming down there and going to score. It reminded me, Scotty, of a game you'll never forget. No Baylor fan will ever forget, but it was 2014. Because what they were doing is, Petty was going to light them up, and Goodley and everybody else was doing their thing. But they were also still mixing in the run here and there. And on one of those plays where SMU knew they were going to throw the ball on that huge drive at the end of regulation, they handed the ball to Bryson. Now, let me tell you, and he got like 13, 14 yards, and he ends up with over 100 yards. Now, there's the enormous play that gave the Bears hope. They're down 14. Sawyer underthrows that ball, probably purposely, knowing him. Josh comes back to the ball, and Josh is the most physical receiver in the Big 12. You know, that guy Tyson, Scotty, that's really good for Arizona State. You know, Pete can come over here, and because he does that Big 12 show, he can name every Big 12 receiver. Is there a more physical wide receiver in college football or in the Big 12 than Josh Cameron? I think the answer is no. Is there anybody in the world that's better, too, in space than Ashton Hawkins? I mean, that was incredible, that whole game. So this combination of, and you just saw Prentice with the huge touchdown. I mean, the throws Sawyer was making, that right there, think about it. Everything's on the line. SMU's nervous as heck. You're down there to about the 30-yard line, and boom, he puts that thing across the middle. I mean, this was so much fun to watch. And Scotty, I thought that was interesting, and because maybe he had more of a point than I thought. Travis Roeder, Mr. what you would call like the X's and O's guy, used to be with SicEm365. He said recently, Scotty, that he stopped writing professional in part because somehow the SEC had got NIL had screwed things up, and the Big 12 and the SEC weren't on the same level or something like that. That was one of the weirder explanations I've ever heard for not writing. Just say you didn't feel like it anymore and you're a physician. But anyway, whatever he said, I don't get. But and Travis is a guy who takes himself like there's Sam Bradshaw and then there's Roeder. And they both kind of take themselves pretty seriously. But I got to say, I like both of them. And I really like their stuff. And what Roeder said the other day was he thought SMU in the second overtime, and good job, Scotty. We showed you all the touchdowns in that game, which takes a while because it was 48-45 was the final score. But he thought because SMU couldn't stop Baylor at all, that SMU, when they on this first possession of OT, should have gone for 2. Now, my response to that is no home team ever does that. When has a home team, knowing they can tie it up and go to double OT, when have you ever seen a home team go for two? It does, on the surface, it pretty much never happens. Now, he may have had a point in the sense that SMU had zero shot of holding the Bears. Now, my flip argument to that, Scotty, would be when did we see, like at what point did we see Baylor stop SMU? Now, we saw it, enormous moment when they held them to a field goal in the second overtime, and then SMU missed that field goal. I had to laugh, Scotty, because you had your best man duties, but you probably were, if I know you were watching the CW, and you probably had some Baylor buddies with you as y'all got ready for the wedding. Y'all were definitely watching that game. If I know you, I thought that was funny to watch the reaction from the Baylor sideline when SMU missed that field goal, because I was kind of like, guys, you still have to go score. Like it was a reaction of the game had ended. In fact, there were Baylor players on their backs, like doing like snow angels. And I just had the thought of like, dudes, you do have to go out and wrap this game up. Now, was there part of you, Scotty? I sort of wanted the walk-off touchdown. I got a little greedy. Like I'm glad he was great. No problem. They went out there, hit the field goal. No problem. Ended the game, 25-28 yard field goal. Okay, so I didn't want to. The one thing you could not do was turn the ball over like you had done earlier in that fourth quarter. I did have confidence in Hawkins, but I have to say, Scotty, part of me was like, let's Sawyer punch this thing in and end the game with a touchdown.
Yeah, I feel you. That would have been quite the walk off, but it was fun. No, we did watch it. That's why my voice is still a little shot today. I don't know if you can tell from how much all of us were screaming at the television many times. I think I had 47 aneurysms throughout that football game. I think I got the most red-faced and loud I've ever been at a television set towards an officiating crew after that block in the back call on the punt return. I just can't even fathom how you make that call in that moment. But I digress.
Well, that's a good point you bring up, and it really could have been like the end in some ways. I mean, they still ended up down 2 touchdowns, but Redding ends up saving the team on the defense with a great – he played the ball beautifully there. Former walk-on makes the interception after that play. But to your point, Scotty, and I asked Dave about that. I meant to Scotty, but I know you had so much on your plate Saturday. It was funny because Mac Rhodes sat next to me at the post-game news conference, and then at some point, Bryce and I just kind of took the thing over, and so we just asked Dave like 3 or 4 questions apiece, and it just became like a whole conversation. And one of us, I asked Cameron about that because what can be the rule in college football if you're setting up and you get wiped out by a defender before you have any chance to make the play on the ball, and then they determine the ball goes off of you and the other team gets it? Now, in some alternate universe, yes, he got shoved. You know why? Because 10 yards before he got to Cameron, a guy tried to sort of get to him, and he did kind of put something. He gave the guy a shove. But there's got to be some, and I know it's a bang-bang type call.
Shove is very generous description for what happened.
Whatever it was, he made contact. You want to say he made contact. But, if it happens 10 yards away from the guy trying to field the punt, first of all, there's a safety issue. Are you telling me a guy can just get teed off on because somebody made contact with the guy who hits him 10 yards up the field? that was weird. And thank goodness, by the way, thank goodness we had a fair. I will say this for the officials once they went to replay, because Sawyer totally slid on a play, and they came in and hit him. Now, you could argue he slid late, but I think it was a slide, and there was no call. Baylor wanted the call. I thought that game had freaking ended, Scotty, because in live time, without the TV, I'm watching that thing from the press box the other day. Devin Bobby goes in, hits Jennings, and it does look like now Jennings totally slid late. In real time, you're like, oh my gosh, he hit him in the head. They're going to get 15 yards. They're about to kick the winning field goal. This stinks. Baylor scored too fast. You know, you're going through all that in your mind. And then you see the replay. And then you realize that Bobby didn't hit him in the head. It was not targeting. So thank goodness they called off the targeting. Now, Scotty, in that moment, now you may have known this. My fear was they keep the kid in the game, but they leave the late hit penalty. They take the targeting away, but I guess once you take the targeting away, then the 15-yard late hit penalty comes off the board as well. That's what I was scared of, because I'm like, okay, well, you got the targeting, but what about the late hit? Now, was it a late hit? Well, the guy on that one, he slid way late. You're already committed to trying to make the tackle. But, Scotty, that's what that was. I thought the game had ended in that moment. But let's give the officials a little credit, because at least once they looked at the replay, they knew what the deal was. And in a way, that call was consistent with the earlier no call on the Sawyer slide.
I want to give a shout out to new Baylor color analyst on the radio broadcast, Nick Florence, because Matt Mosley, we were watching the football game, but we departed the house for the venue, which was about a 10-minute drive, right after Baylor scored the touchdown to tie it late in the fourth.
Oh no, I would have. And if I were you, I literally would have not gotten it. I would have been late to the wedding before I did that.
We watched overtime at the venue, so we timed it pretty. We timed it pretty good, but didn't want a bridezilla on our butt, so we took off after Baylor tied it up. I was listening to the Baylor radio broadcast, and Nick Florence immediately pointed out. He said, "Note, they did call targeting. They did not call a personal foul for a late hit." So Nick Florence actually immediately alleviated that fear. Good. I'll give him a shout out for that. Excellent work by him on the broadcast, letting the radio listeners know that was the scenario.
Is Nick, because I really like some of the work he's doing. Obviously, we all miss JJ so much, but that goes without saying. And I missed him the other day thinking about his great games against SMU. You know, Scotty, on the pregame show, I was telling you some of those stories, and I did. But is Nick doing a better job not talking over John? Like during calls, is Nick trying to stay off of John's call, or are you hearing a lot of Nick during John's call?
Granted, I both times have listened very limitedly to the broadcast.
Okay.
I've caught in a few minutes of each. I will say week one, I heard him step on John a couple of times, which is normal.
Okay.
By the way, your first time working with someone, very normal. I did not hear it this past Saturday. So I think they probably worked a little more on it, improved a little bit. Bobby B comments, Nick is stellar.
Oh, good. I like it. Bobby B. Man, I love having some folks comment out there on the live show. This is going to be a show, too, that a lot of people are going to come to kind of as the podcast version of this, because some of the stuff we're going to do, Ashley Hodge from SicEm, a lot of the SicEm people, are going to want to listen to that, because we'll talk a little bit of Baylor hoops, but we'll have a lot of college. We'll talk a lot of the Baylor game because he was up there as well. And I have some things to bounce off of him. And he's a big Baylor donor, and he's got a suite at the game. So I guess he has to watch it a little bit, but he can be pretty opinionated. I have thoughts on what Baylor will need to start doing with the Sawyer Heisman campaign. And Scotty, I'll bounce it real quick off of you, and we'll do some Campus Confidential coming up here in a minute. I know Scotty will have a couple of things to bounce off of me, but we want to be ready for our 2:00 interview. Scotty, one of the great things about when RG3 started going off that fateful season, and there were a couple of moments where he had to step up to preserve that season. One was Kansas in a game was about to beat Baylor, and RG3 bailed out the Bears late in that game, and I think that preserved his Heisman opportunity. Now, the way you stay in the Heisman race is you just keep putting up huge numbers like what Sawyer's doing. Now, you also have to have help from your school with a marketing campaign. Okay, so this is not a good head coach for that, because other than getting to occasionally do that thing he was doing with Pete, what's that called, Scotty? GXG? The only way Sawyer can do any radio or TV appearances is via a collective type deal. Baylor does not let its players go on ESPN and Fox and for instance, if for game day with Scotty just going off, let's say game day or Big Noon wants to do a package on Scotty, and they go, hey guys, we want to talk to, I keep saying Scotty, they want to do a package on Sawyer. I think Dave Aranda's answer to his PR staff is going to be no. So Scotty, all I would say, and again, I'm just so excited about the win. I don't want to overdo this, but when you have a Heisman hopeful and everything's playing out like it needs to right now, Mateer's good for OU, so he's certainly going to get in the mix. But Arch has been shaky. Klubnik's been shaky. So some of the big dogs, I don't know, Aller, who knows? I haven't really paid attention to him yet. Some of the national big dogs are slow out of the gates. The Arizona State quarterback, a little shaky out of the gates. Sawyer's been great out of the gates. So, Scotty, if you can, I think you know what I'm doing here. I am trying to apply pressure. I think the Bears have to get behind Sawyer in a huge way. Sawyer will do his part. I don't think there's any question about that. But the Bears have to do their part.
Well, I don't know how I can help Matt Mosley, but I hope Baylor University knows that I am fit and ready to serve the Sawyer Robertson Heisman campaign in any way I'm asked. I would love to. I'm for it.
You do look pretty fit. I feel like when you put those glasses on, it means you've had a pretty busy weekend. Sometimes you go contacts. Sometimes I was afraid to go to Mount Pleasant and add another tattoo or something. A little worried. They got a pretty good little tattoo parlor there that I've heard about. All right, Scotty. Let's do some Campus Confidential. And hey, I'm sort of good with if you've got some Baylor nuggets you want to stay with, totally fine with me. But I think we can also hit a few of these other college games from the weekend. Anywhere you want to go. It is Campus Confidential. It happens next.
When Central National Bank decided to partner with Baylor women's basketball, we didn't know exactly what that partnership would look like.
What brings you into the bank today?
For the last couple of months, I've been noticing a charge on my account, and I would like to block it.
I see. So you have a charge.
Yes?
And you'd like to block it?
Yes.
I think you should take the charge.
What?
Yeah, I definitely think you should take the charge.
I don't think you understand.
Sometimes you just have to take one for the team.
Is there a manager available?
We love that Coach Collin is all about the team. Once we get the vocabulary down, the sky's the limit.
Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor women's basketball.
I have Mac Rhodes, director of Baylor Athletics, on the phone. Mac, can you tell Peggy why she should take the charge?
Of course she should take the charge. Wait, are you at the bank again? And who is Peggy?
Dive into adventure with Scuba.com, your ultimate destination for top-tier scuba and snorkeling gear. With over 20 years of experience, our expert staff, who've dived everywhere from the Galapagos to the Maldives, provides personalized advice to help you find the perfect gear for any underwater journey. Shop leading brands like GoPro, Aqualung, and Scuba Pro. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, trust Scuba.com for the best in diving equipment and expert guidance. Explore now at Scuba.com. That's SCUBA.com. Scuba.com. BizChair.com, your one-stop shop for premium commercial furniture that blends quality with affordability. From ergonomic office chairs to durable restaurant seating, we cater to diverse industries including corporate, medical, hospitality, and education. With over 20 years of experience, we offer fast shipping, exceptional customer support, and furniture solutions that stand up to high-traffic environment. Elevate your space with BizChair's vast selection of stylish, reliable, and cost-effective furniture. Visit us today at BizChair.com to transform your business. Level up your game with Corsair, the global leader in high-performance gear for gamers, content creators, and PC enthusiasts. From award-winning PC components to premium streaming equipment, smart lighting, and esports coaching services, Corsair delivers an ecosystem designed for peak performance. Whether you're a casual gamer or a pro, alleviate your setup with Corsair. Shop now at Corsair.com. That's Corsair.com. Corsair. At Mitzi, we believe the right light can transform any space. Born from a third-generation lighting family, we craft beautifully designed, premium lighting that's made to be affordable. Inspired by Grandma Mitzi's eclectic style, we're on a mission to make high-quality lighting accessible to all. Whether you're updating your space or adding a unique fixture, Mitzi has the perfect design for you. Beautiful, well-made lighting without the high price tag. Discover your perfect light at Mitzi.com. That's MITZI.com. Mitzi. Founded in 1910, Samsonite is the world leader in durable, high-quality luggage and travel accessories. Made to the highest standards, our products won't let you down. We give you the confidence to get out there and explore. Inspired by the past, devoted to the present, and built to inspire a multi-generational future, Samsonite is here to elevate your journey. Travel with Samsonite and pack confidence every step of the way. Shop now at shop.samsonite.com. Samsonite. The grinder mentality that Randy and Brent Habert built into 44 Pro runs deep within our team. Every member shares a passion for the craft, the game, and most importantly, the player. When you step onto the field with a 44 Pro custom glove, you'll feel the difference. It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro. At Angel Bliss, we believe every parent's journey is a beautiful adventure. Our mission is to make it joyful and stress-free with thoughtful, safe, and innovative products. Born from a love for family, we promise peace of mind for parents and comfort for babies. From playtime to bedtime, every Angel Bliss product is designed with care, reliability, and a style to nurture the special bond between parent and child. Angel Bliss, creating happy memories, one baby at a time. Visit us at angelbliss.us. Angel Bliss. Golf Partner, the world's largest golf store network, offers more purchasing opportunities than anywhere else. With a dominant market share and a wider selection of quality secondhand golf clubs than our competitors, we make it easy for you to enjoy the game with affordable, top-quality equipment. Join us at golfpartnerusa.com and discover why we're the trusted choice for golf lovers worldwide. That's GOLFPARTNERUSA.com. Golf Partner.
Since 2003, Bluehost has been empowering people to harness their brands online with innovative web hosting solutions. Trusted by over 2 million users, we're the longest-running WordPress.org recommended host. With Bluehost, you get a safer, better web experience, supported by the world's most popular site builder, and backed by our commitment to open source projects. Visit Bluehost.com today and take your website to the next level.
Matt Mosley show on the Rogue. media network, Scotty Swingler has returned to us, and it's great to have him back. He put in a ton of work so that our Green and Gold Game Day show would look really nice. Faith was great. The young Jackson Posey doing good work, filling in on the desk for, I guess the two of us, Scotty. I mean, it takes an army, man, to fill in for the two of us. But not that we didn't put in all kinds of work last week. Terrence Ganaway helping out as well. It's just, but even on the field before the game, some of the Baylor brass came up to me and they were commenting on how talented and good Faith is. And I thought, man, that's great. That's great. I started fishing. I'm like, what about me? They didn't really say much about that, Scotty. They said, well, you're Mosley. We can't change you. Faith, there's Faith, she's really good. So we've chosen really well there, Scotty, and very nice job as we did some pregame show like right before kickoff. I love being on the scene. So, Scotty, I'll do that for the TCU game. I'll do that throughout the rest of the year. Just getting under Scotty's skin. But, Scotty, it was wonderful work by you because you have to do a lot of work, and then hopefully our TV partners were happy with us. I don't know. Again, Faith, just, she's perfect on TV. Scotty, the two of us are kind of like, oh, there's some random, white dudes who are up there. But
we're just here.
We are. But we both have a lot of hair. I mean, that's one good thing. You're thin. I used to be. I'm trying to think what we have going for us. We have good opinions in some sense. All right, Scotty, stop playing with your hair. What are you doing? Oh, are you showing it to the people?
You said we've both got hair, so I was just getting my hair out for a second.
I can't. Yeah, no, it's fine. No, it looks good. Leave it like that. You kind of look like a young attorney in an old movie like The Paper, what's it called? Paper Lion, John Houseman was in a movie about the first year of law school. It might have even turned into a TV show or something, but people know what I'm talking about. Lindsay, somebody was in that movie. All right, let's do some Campus Confidential. And for that, we go to Scotty Swingler at the mothership. And Scotty, I'm sorry I wasn't able to be in there with you today. Yesterday, you had such nice comments the other day on how when we're in the studio together that
it was so lively. We had so much fun. You got multiple impressions out of me, which, let's be honest, it's not hard to do. But I anyway enjoyed that, Matt. You should do it. You should come down anytime. Hey, Matt, name over the last 10 to 15 years, who are a handful of your favorite college football analysts?
Last 10 to 15 years on the analyst side.
Yes.
See, I immediately start thinking about NBA but college football. I would say that on the from ESPN, I'm trying to think of some of the old quarterbacks. I've always kind of liked Blackledge. I like some of the old school type guys. I would say, Herbie's fine. Charles Davis used to be okay. They put him back on the NFL. He would have been in the last 10 to 15 years. I would say, I kind of like Orlovsky, what he does, because when they put him on a game, I think he does a pretty nice job of breaking things down. I'll tell you who I like. Because I think he's knowledgeable and he's got a really good attitude about himself. I like Dvoracek, and I can't remember who they put him with, but he does a fine job. And I just think he's got a great attitude, and I don't mind hearing from him. I did not get to hear the CW guys, so I had no clue who they had, but I'm sure they were nice. But those are just a few names that come to mind. What about you?
Well, one of the guys I enjoy listening to because he's not afraid to say what he thinks, and sometimes it gets him into hot water with others because it's he sometimes has unconventional opinions, is Danny Cannell. Matt, did you hear what Danny Cannell said on Sirius XM over the weekend?
Okay, and by the way, just to clarify, I was talking about guys that are like calling games. I was not thinking about like radio shows and things like that. I certainly have people that I enjoy for that. Danny was gracious enough when he was on ESPN. He used to come on my ESPN show in Dallas a ton. In fact, we had him on every week to discuss like the CFP and all. But I like Danny personally. But what did Danny have to say?
Let me show you.
Are you ready for a bold proclamation?
Sure.
Sawyer Robertson is the best quarterback in college football. He was spectacular in that game. The dude's got ice in his veins, kept delivering. He right now is throwing for 429 yards a game. He's got 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and one of the best comebacks of the year, and maybe in recent memory, that he put on his back. And he's 1-1, which is kind of crazy too, because I don't know what happens with Baylor the rest of the way. They got issues on the defensive side of the ball, which we knew against Auburn. He's going to put up monster numbers. If they could get, now this is a big question because that defense, he's 60-1 right now to win the Heisman Trophy. I think it's kind of worth a flyer to take it. Now, if they're 8-4, that, obviously could hurt his chances. He can sling it. My man Tom Fornelli's been a huge Sawyer Robertson fan for a while. He was sensational in that game.
So my guy Pete Souza this morning encouraged all viewers, go ahead and put some shekels on the Sawyer Robertson for Heisman line because the odds are really nice. Looks like our guy Danny Cannell agrees.
Interesting. Now, this is good for Baylor. It's good for the campaign. I think more needs to be done, but I like some of the national people like Cannell getting on board. Now, the problem, of course, will be like Mateer was pretty good against Michigan the other night, so they'll go crazy over that. If Sellers has a big game, but I mean, a lot of the people who are kind of in the mix have been slow out of the gates. I mean, whether it be Arch, Klubnik, others, but that's a good one, Scotty. I like. I had just you're on top of things because I had just seen that on Twitter, and then boom, it's on my screen. It's on the Mosley show. So I appreciate you putting in the time and effort that you do. All right, what else do you have, sir? As we continue Campus Confidential, reminder that the SicEm365, one of their founders and their largest benefactor and a large Baylor booster, Ashley Hodge, longtime buddy of mine. Our first conversation publicly, we've been good friends for a long time, but we, for whatever reason, could not talk publicly together. We couldn't do a podcast or anything for about 7 years. And we're getting back together at 2:00 today. So keep that in mind. Scotty, what else do we have, sir?
Matt, let's see if you've seen this or if you know this. There is only one team in the United States of America who is 2-0 against ranked opponents this season. Do you know who that one team is?
Who is 2-0 against ranked opponents? Wouldn't be LSU, certainly not. I don't think it's Penn State. I'm trying to think who's played solid teams out of the gates.
Our friend
Clemson. Who is it?
Our friend Scotty B has guessed correctly in the comments. Let me show you how it happened.
20-yard field goal attempt from the middle of the field.
Oh, the Bulls. The Bulls.
Dramatic up for the win, and there it is. 18-16, the final score, and the Bulls explode off the bench.
So there you have it. The USF Bulls are the only team with 2 ranked wins in this young season. And as such, they have been rewarded. We're going to look at the top 25 together in a minute. USF is the number 18 school in the nation. And Matt, right now, the front runner of the group of 5 teams to make the playoff.
I mean, with those 2 wins, remind me who their first one was against. Because it was a good one. It was a good one. That Florida one is awesome.
Well, and I don't remember. I'm not remembering the first one off the top of my head, which makes me bad at this. But
no.
But
okay.
here's the game to watch this week, Matt. They've got Miami this week. They could get another. Now, I don't think they're gonna win that game. But can you imagine if they do? Oh, Boise State. Thank you, Scotty B.
That's right.
Boise State. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if they beat Miami this Saturday?
No, I don't think they will. But like, somebody made the good argument today. They ended up at, what'd you say, 17 or 18 in the AP top 25.
18.
And like, if you just took their jersey off and put Alabama or somebody on it, and they beat 2 ranked teams. Now, of course, they would have started a lot, in that first AP before anybody played. But in some sense, what they've done is more impressive than anybody in the country. So you could make an argument that they need to be higher than 18. Like, they literally should be up there around 12 or something to beat 2 ranked opponents like they did. But wow. And see, what Baylor needs to have happen now is Auburn, I believe, is ranked. Did they check in at number 24? Is that right? So the Bears need Auburn to go on to have a great season. And then that loss won't hurt them really at all. And then of course, they need to go dominate the conference. So right now, this conference looks wide open. Iowa State looks good. Baylor looks great on offense. K-State.
Listen, there's
that's unbelievable. Poor K-State. Oh my gosh.
There are I believe 5 schools in the Big 12 right now who probably feel pretty good. Utah feels pretty good. They haven't played anybody, but their team looks good. Dampier looks like a dude. Texas Tech feels good. Haven't played anybody, but we know how talented they are. They're taking care of business. Iowa State has to feel really good today, taking care of business against Iowa. BYU feels good. The freshman kid, I know it's disgusting that he's number 47. They look good. Baylor's the next one. Baylor's got to feel okay, despite playing pretty poorly, certainly in moments against SMU, able to get the come-from-behind victory.
Love the cap. Love the truth right there. Baylor and Iowa State saving the conference on an embarrassing weekend where Oklahoma State, just honestly, if you could do the relegation that you do in soccer, we'd be thinking about sending the Pokes. Hey, don't go up there and just embarrass us all. I mean, just represent. So it's looking like right now things are not looking good for the future of one Mike Gundy. What an embarrassing performance up there in Eugene. All right, we'll save that. I wanted to look at the top 25 later. We'll do that. But next, it is time for the founder and owner of SicEm365. So much to talk to him about. Ashley Hodge joins us next.
Transform your workspace with Hanomi Ergonomics. From adjustable chairs to standing desks, we provide solutions for comfort and productivity, whether at home or in the office. Improve your posture, reduce strain, and work smarter. Visit us at hanomi.co today. That's HINOMI.co today. Unlock a world of convenience with Mullybox, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your tastes. Experience the joy of surprises. Subscribe today at mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. Unlock your full potential with Onnit, your go-to for premium supplements, fitness gear, and wellness essentials. Whether you're training hard, recovering faster, or just looking to feel your best, Onnit has the tools you need to perform at your peak. Visit Onnit, that's ONNIT.com, and elevate your mind, body, and spirit today. At Rolls Rolla, we don't just sell wallpaper, we create cohesive, cozy spaces. Our deep understanding of design means every pattern, color, and texture is carefully chosen to complement your home. Plus, we use advanced technology and water-based inks for vibrant, eco-friendly prints, ensuring a healthier environment. Visit rollsrolla.com to transform your space today. That's ROLLSROLLA.com today.
Relax with Hemp Delicious. Organically grown hemp, massively blended with delicious organic herbs, responsibly sourced for their holistic benefits. Each sip offers calming, antioxidant-rich wellness. Brewed just for you. Sip the calm with Hemp Delicious. Find your blend at hempdelicious.com.
At Tusain's, we understand that maintaining a healthy lifestyle can be challenging, especially in today's fast-paced world. That's why our mission is to make fitness accessible to everyone, anywhere. Committed to excellence, we adopt a user-centric approach guided by ergonomics and medical science. With a team of seasoned professionals in R&D, design, and manufacturing, we prioritize quality across our entire product line. Visit Tusains.com today and start your journey to better health. That's TOUSAINS.com.
Ready to bring your vision to life? At Small Rig, every idea, design, and product is inspired by you, the creator. With our industry-first under co-design mode and the Dream Rig free customization project, we unite with global creators to turn big dreams into reality. Whether it's a cage rig or mount, Small Rig's versatile gear is built to elevate your craft. Small Rig, where your creativity meets our innovation. Go to smallrig.com.
Calling all Marvel fans, get Marvel Unlimited and unlock over 30,000 comics featuring your favorite heroes and iconic stories, all available to read anytime, anywhere. Whether you're into classic tales or the latest adventures, there's something for everyone. Don't miss out. Head to marvel.com/unlimited today and start your Marvel journey now. At Angel Bliss, we believe every parent's journey is a beautiful adventure. Our mission is to make it joyful and stress-free with thoughtful, safe, and innovative products. Born from a love for family, we promise peace of mind for parents and comfort for babies. From playtime to bedtime, every Angel Bliss product is designed with care, reliability, and a style to nurture the special bond between parent and child. Angel Bliss, creating happy memories, one baby at a time. Visit us at angelbliss.us. Angel Bliss.
Oh, there he is. Ashley Hodge standing by with Baylor highlights behind him. Love the setup there. Love the standing desk. That is a man who spent some time on the treadmill, has spent some time in the weight room. I don't know where you're getting all the time, but you're looking good, looking very healthy. It was good to see you in the press box. Ashley, this is, I don't want to get too far in the weeds here, but this is the first time you and I have done a podcast / streaming, whatever this is, in about like 7 or 8 years. Like when I first left Dallas Radio, man, you and I immediately got on the phone and it's like, let's do some stuff together. You know, Mosley suddenly out of a job after 10 years. And I think you and I thought we would just keep doing that for a while. And then suddenly we were forbidden from talking. And it's nice to be visiting again. So
yeah, good.
Thank you for doing this today. Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, you do have the Baylor. What is that? Is that the men's?
This is the national championship? This is
a
vintage national championship shirt. Yeah, I think I have a year left in wearing this before it gets a little too dated. But I'm gonna milk it for all it's worth.
Did you like it say anything or have any like a Hodge heckling moment? Or, I mean, you were very professional in the press box, as you should be. There was one, on one of that first SMU touchdown, did you see that guy down to your left? There was an SMU guy clapping in the press box. Yeah. And I thought, I was going to go say something to him. But as you left the stadium, did you encounter any sad SMU fans, and did you have any fun with anybody, or did you keep it very professional on the way out?
I keep it professional. I don't like the I'm a big let's talk our trash before the game when there's some risk involved. I don't like the talking noise after the result is in type of scenario. I will say, though, we were sitting next to the coach's box for the SMU defensive staff, and I heard some very colorful language about alignments, and it was interesting sitting right next to a coaching box. Let's just put it that way. Made the game more entertaining, but yeah, what a great game, and what a great result for Baylor. That was a big confidence builder.
I'd like to know which coach that was. You think was he mostly mad like on defense? Do you think that was the defensive coordinator who was shouting so much? Okay.
I think so. I think he was mad about alignment issues from his own guys. That's what I heard. It's he used some colorful adjectives to describe his opinion on the alignment.
I think it's almost certain he's a Methodist. That guy over there. But good to be with Ashley Hodge, SicEm365, one of the founders, managing partner, a man who just keeps it humming, and he makes sure that all his big brains over there, like S11, Sam Bradshaw, gets his reports in after the game. Did you take a peek? What was Sam? I'm a member, and I think I might have been blocked for a while, but I was able to navigate my way in. What was Sam's biggest? Have you looked to see kind of Sam's biggest takeaway from that game? Because I love having Sam on over the years. I would have Sam on in the old radio show, and then I would have Roeder on, and then you kept hiring everybody away. I was like, these are my guys, Ashley. But anyway, they're very good at what they do. Travis has like retired from professional writing. I guess he's putting his medical stuff in front of that for now. But Sam's still doing it. As you've kind of thought through that game, and your staff, like Sam and others, and Grayson and Colt do such a nice job. Levi, I really like Levi a lot, especially his baseball, but you've really launched him into football this year. What are the biggest takeaways from that game? Obviously, the defense continues to struggle, but what were the couple of things that have kind of stood out about y'all's coverage in that 48 hours since Baylor had that stunning comeback win?
Well, I have two observations. One is if you read our message boards, you would think that SMU ran all over Baylor and Baylor couldn't run the ball at all. I mean, that was kind of the thought process or the narrative. But the actual stats kind of show us that it was very even. I think both rushed 44 times, around 160 yards each, and very similar yards per carry stats. So I think that was a misconception that wasn't borne out in the stats. But I think S11 mentioned this, and I did as well, that Baylor ran almost 30 more plays than SMU. I think the final play count was 94 to 66. Of course, part of that was SMU had a couple of one-play drives. But I think that really caught up to SMU at the end of the game. That 30 extra plays gave Baylor the edge that they needed. Their defense was fresher. The SMU defense was more tired, and you could see that kind of in that last end of the fourth quarter. Baylor really took advantage of that.
Actually, we're old enough to remember some of those great Baylor SMU matchups, like even back to the 80s. And so to see both teams with really good athletes, and obviously they're better in the ACC and playing at a high level, it got me thinking about the fact that I think SMU and TCU, for whatever reason, they got that iron skillet, and I think they're going to let that thing go. I mean, they're going to play obviously in a couple of weeks, but I mean, and maybe Baylor will have to look at scheduling because SEC's changed the schedule. It's going to go to 9 games. Baylor's already there with the Big 12, but just that whole scene and the fun nature of that. I'm not saying you should open every season with an SEC game and then an ACC game, but I would have no problem with Baylor and SMU playing both football and basketball on an annual basis.
Yeah, no, I think I liked it. I mean, it's a cool rivalry, and obviously it's one that Baylor's dominated. I think they're 14 in a row. That last game they lost, I was looking up the stats for that game, and they lost, I think, in 1985 or 86. And Baylor dominated that game on paper, but they turned it over 5 times. SMU had a 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. So I'm sure that game was circled, and SMU fans and SMU players wanted that bad. Baylor was fortunate to get out of there with a win, but it would be a fun rivalry, and especially now that SMU's making such a huge commitment to NIL and really funding their program well. That I think it would be a fun game to play on a yearly basis.
Okay. Well, somebody's getting free commercials during this interview behind you back there. I think I just saw like a Mel enhancement commercial. But focus on Ascension Providence. Focus on that right now, which is one of our great sponsors here on the Mosley Show. I want to get some hoops at some point here, but I want to stick with Baylor football for a minute.
Sure.
The wide receivers between Prentice, Cameron, Ashton, honestly, Lewis, he hasn't really gotten going yet.
And somebody Miranda talked about in glowing terms in fall practice.
This intrigue's going to be maybe day to day. I don't know, some kind of shoulder situation. Cole Wilson's awesome. I mean, I think every year you just start scouting Texas State receivers. Like, who do we want? I think this is, not that they didn't have some really good receivers with Rule, even going back to when Aranda got here, Tyquan Thornton was a great one. They've had some really good, but as far as the deepest core of wide receivers and weapons, when you throw Trigg in there, it was funny when I saw number 12 the other day when Trigg was hurt. I was like, wait, who is that? And I'm like, Kelsey Johnson's still around.
Sure.
He was out there running around. To me, this is the deepest group they've had maybe since the Bryles years. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think it compares favorably to the Bryles wide receivers, and that's a huge compliment. Those guys were All-American, caliber receivers, but we got some dudes. You saw that on display with Josh Cameron. Ashton Hawkins is, incredibly athletic. I think we saw them do flips after the game. He and Cole Wilson just like they must be dating some A&T athletes or getting some tutelage from them, because that was impressive. These guys are alpha type receivers, and Prentice. What a great ad he is, and I know they're high on Jaden Porter coming. That's coming up. So I think the future is bright. For that wide receiver room, as long as Spavital's there. He's a great offense coordinator.
Do you think Baylor needs to tap into our huge marketing brains in terms of? Sawyer's putting up incredible numbers. I was on Dallas radio when RG3 was doing his thing, and they were Heath and the guys, the Baylor PR guys. Who's our other guy that was, he went to Iowa State afterwards?
Nick Jose. Yeah, Nick.
Yeah, Nick Jose. We like Nick a lot. They were putting him on regional, national. They were really pushing that. Like, Sawyer, the Mateers of the world, because of where they play, are always going to get a leg up. The good news about this is Sawyer's incredible right now. He's thrown for 850 yards and 7 touchdowns, as you mentioned. And Klubnik, Arch, even Aller, I'm not hearing that much about him, the Penn State quarterback. Some of these huge Heisman hopeful names have come out a little sluggish out of the gates. So to me, I'm not trying to stir anything up. I'm just like, and I like Aranda a lot and all that kind of stuff. But when you have a player of this magnitude, and you heard Aranda after the game, don't take this guy for granted. Baylor people, don't take Sawyer Robertson for granted. Part of me is thinking you gotta be able to bend your policy a little bit. And I know, Ashley, when people pay some NIL money, maybe Sawyer can do some of those. But I think Baylor's got to change their approach a little bit. I'm talking about Aranda specifically, and let this kid be interviewed and featured on ESPN and Fox and other places, because he's that special. And when people see him, he's like an incredible dude. He's smart. He comes across great. We got to interview him at the Big 12 Media Days. I just feel like I think he's good enough that the big time media blitz, Heisman marketing blitz needs to come with him. And I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, no, I think the schedule's hard enough that should take care of itself to some degree. You missed an opportunity, obviously, to beat Auburn. I think he would be even more in the limelight had they pulled that win off. But you got a big opportunity with Arizona State. It's a primetime game, Fox. So that's another huge window for the country to see how good he is. And, I think if he has another great game in that one, then I would hope there would be bigger efforts to get him in front of national media because he is special and he is a Heisman candidate. I mean, there's no question about it. And I think there's enough good games on the schedule. If Baylor takes care of business, gets to 9 or 10 or 11 wins, which, obviously 11 would be hard to do. But if they are able to do that, then I think he'll be in the conversation.
Much like the Bryles teams, this may be one of those defensive years where you're just trying to occasionally get a turnover, get a takeaway like Reading did the other night, get one stop somewhere along the way. I even saw some NFL games yesterday where there were no punts, and there was just every single possession. That Cowboys-Eagles game started out like that the other night in the first half until that break. Both teams were going. It's going to be a fun style. The good news is I don't think there's a runaway. I think Iowa State's pretty solid. They play a good brand of defense, but how would we ever know against a team like Iowa that's always offensively challenged? From what you've seen, Ashley, Big 12-wise, obviously Arizona State got beat the other night. Oklahoma State got drilled. It's out there for the Bears taking.
Utah looks good. It's early, but we'll see. They got a big game coming up. I think Texas Tech visits them the same week we play Arizona State. It's Utah. Kansas State doesn't look to be as good as they were expected to be preseason. Obviously, TCU is going to be a contender. Arizona State, one of those names. You think Texas Tech, with as much as they're spending, will be up there as well. But, Baylor's in the mix. I mean, who wants to face Sawyer Robertson and these group of receivers? And, that offensive line pass protects really well. So this is a dangerous team, and hopefully the defense can get healthy on the defensive line and start to show some improvements. A little disappointing and, their start to the season, but there's time to get that corrected, and hopefully they'll show improvements as we hit the meat of the Big 12 schedule.
I like to hear the optimism from you, and maybe Jackie Marshall can get healthy and play more snaps. I think on the offensive side of the ball, you've got the makings of a pretty good O-line. I think your members are correct to be a little concerned about the run game. Also, Sawyer's having to overcome a lot because his guys are getting called for holding a ton. And I'd have to really examine the tape. Coaches always say that. I got to look at the tape. That's what I'm going to start saying. Let me look at the tape before I comment on that. But, whether it be Big 68, Fugar over there at tackle. I mean, these guys are really good players, I think. But I do think they get a little grabby. But good for like Siraki being ready to come in. Colton's been getting banged up and having to leave games and that kind of thing. And so I think that is, that's a good thing. Ashley Hodge, you saw the graphic up there. Baylor basketball insider, a beloved donor at Baylor, a man who it really is nice to kind of see you in the press box. You're a man who in the past has really enjoyed life in a suite. So to come down with the rank and file and be in a press box with us means a lot to us. It makes us feel a part of things. You went on the trip to Germany with Baylor basketball, and they were missing some players because of where they were playing, representing the Team USA. There were some of the players from foreign countries couldn't play. You did get to see one of their players, Michael Rataj, who was playing for Germany in this tournament. It was the it was this, it was obviously, what was that thing called? Some kind of Olympic type. What was the name of this?
World
University Games?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now, by the way, you were trying to do these interviews and it was so freaking loud at these places after the game. And I was monitoring all your stuff and it was good, but it was like, oh my gosh, can we get Scott to leave the arena or something? I mean, they would make these things so loud. Were the crowds like into it? Was it kind of a fun scene over there?
Yeah. I was shocked at how engaged those fans were. I mean, almost every game that I was at was sold out. It was lots of German fans that just love basketball, because some of those games Germany wasn't even playing, in the time slot that USA played. But yeah, they love basketball. And I came away really confident in our best 5 players, which in my opinion is Obi Agbem, Cam Carr, and Dan Skillings Jr., Tunde Yesufu, who did not play, and then Michael Ratai, who played for Germany. I think Ratai is our best player. I think he's just an all-around, difference maker, and I think the ball is going to be in his hands a lot, to distribute and really initiate offense. The comparison was made to Tim Duncan. I mean, he's a shorter version, but he's got that kind of calmness about him. He's just very calm, and he doesn't get in a hurry. He plays game at his pace. He's really skilled. And then Obi showed that he can score against anybody. I think Tunde is going to be terrific. Maybe a better freshman than VJ Edgecombe as far as impact on the college game. I don't know if he'll be drafted as high in the NBA draft, but anyway, those 5 are really good. Cam Carr is a breakout star potential. I worry about our depth. We've got some injuries. Jocelyn Bodo with the ATV accident, he's out probably until mid-season. Hopefully we get him back. And then Michael Perez tore his ACL in practice a couple weeks ago. So those are 2 guys that you were counting on to be in the rotation. So we'll see what the depth looks like. But, those top 5 I think are really good.
That's almost why I wish Scott would not, how when they had injury issues last year, he kept saying, we went this many years without an ACL, and now these things are happening too much. And honestly, I'm only halfway kidding here. I think you're going to, some of these college contracts are so big and you're paying these guys. I think you're going to have to start doing like the NBA does and tell kids like what they can and can't do. And like,
Scooters,
I think
ATVs. No question about it. Yeah. Those are, we've had a couple freak accidents on both of those vehicles in the past year. And I think you're going to see that. I think you're going to see that written into these NIL contracts.
Where was that ATV, by the way? Was it in McLennan County or
no,
where was he?
It was before
else?
He got to campus. Yeah.
Okay. Oh man, isn't that something? You bring in all this size and but again, I want to go back to the positive because you got me excited thinking about Ratai. I mean, you only compared him to like the greatest power forward in NBA history, so that's good. Now, Tunde Yesufu, because for people that don't know, Ashley, because of his status and I would say, long-standing and great friendship with Scott Drew, gets to see things most of us don't get to see. And which is nice. I have had assistant coaches try to sneak me in, but there's a certain member of the program that's always got his eye out for Mosley sightings. He might run me out of there. But I want to hear more, and I think people would be interested in this. In Tunde Yesufu, like what his game's like what are proper expectations, and like how will they use him? Because again, like you said, VJ, there's never going to be anybody that he's probably the most explosive athlete in the history of the program. Yesufu's different, not that he's not explosive and not that he's not powerful, but he's certainly built different. Is he a guy that can create his own shot? Like walk us through when he's at his best, what is he doing?
Well, first of all, Cam Carr may give VJ Edgecombe a run for his money on athleticism. Unbelievable athlete. I've seen it in practice. I saw it in Germany. He is special. But Tunde is. I was talking to an NBA scout on the phone for about 30 minutes a couple days ago about him. I would say from what I've seen in practice, his best skill is the motor. He has got a relentless motor. He's just a guy that plays hard every possession. He's going to get a lot of deflections on defense. He's very active with his hands. I might compare him to Marcus Smart a little bit. You know, he's a better shooter than Marcus Smart, but he's got that kind of motor and that kind of effect on the game. He's a downhill player. He's going to drive it and try to get to the rim, and he probably will commit some charges. Thankfully, he doesn't play in the era a few years back when almost everything was called a charge. You know, that's more advantageous to the offensive player in today's basketball. But I think he's a guy that's just going to get to the free throw line a lot. He's going to make a decent amount of threes, probably going to be a really streaky shooter. But his best skill is he's just going to impact the game with energy, motor, attitude. When I interviewed him, I said, "What do you want to tell Baylor fans?" He said, "Tell them the Big Bear's coming to town."
The Big Bear is coming to town. All right. So without Bodo and, Perez obviously has some good size as well. What's the front court look like? And like you say, that was where they had depth issues last year. The young man that played at Rice from Midway is someone, we'll be excited to see. Who else can help the Bears there across the front line? I mean, obviously they're going to need.
Mayo Soyoye, I think, is going to play. Yeah, the freshman, he's really good. I think he's a freshman, but he's got the size, athleticism that you want from a Big 12 center. Beat Villanova and Maryland for his commitment. So I think he's a guy that you might see play quite a bit. And, then you got Isaac Williams, JJ White. They're not, front court players, but I think we're going to be looking at a lot of lineups with Ratai as our 5, Skillings playing the 4, and then you got Tunde Yesufu and Cam Carr, who have really good size and athleticism, playing that 2-3. And then I think you'll see Obi running some point. But I like the chemistry. I like the guys work hard. Getting Bodo back would be a big shot in the arm, especially with the loss of Perez. And then we could add somebody in mid-semester as well. So that's something to be on the lookout for. But it was too late to add anybody before once classes started and Perez got injured. I think the product's going to be better than last year. Certainly going to be more athletic. And I think our wings are as good as you get in the Big 12.
Yeah, it's funny how these teams will add a European player just out of nowhere. And some of them are highly skilled type players. And so hopefully that's interesting what you said about Carr. I mean, that gets me. I mean, I saw some great things and some great dunks, but that kind of explosion and everything, that'll be really exciting. What since we've last talked, we're like 7 years ago, but no, for people that don't know, Ashley and I talk a lot, and we just don't really do it publicly, but now we can. The schedule, the non-conference schedule that came out, there's an exhibition in Indiana. That'll be fun, and maybe people will actually show up for that game and that kind of thing. I wish the Bears would try to work in, bring back A&M and bring back some of these really fun rivalry games locally. There is one game. Now, the women are playing University of Texas up in Fort Worth. What's the Bears' best?
Louisville. Well, they got Louisville, and
that's in December.
Fort Worth. They've got Washington at home.
Yeah.
That'll be a tough game. And then they've got some games in Vegas, at least 3. They go Creighton, and then they got Louisville. Not Louisville, St. John's. So the ex-Louisville coach. Creighton and St. John's, and then they'll probably play another quality opponent in that Players Era tournament. So you're looking at 5, 6 really good games in the non-conference, and that should get you ready for Big 12 play.
But not one of those random so-called. I mean, it's not that they weren't neutral where they go to Spokane or they go to Detroit. I mean,
Right.
that has Baylor.
Well, they're going to
playing
Indiana to play
Marquette.
this exhibition game.
But that's
it's an NIL game, but it doesn't count. So that's
it. That's it.
But
Yeah, I think
that'll be I'm sure a big environment for Indiana fans to fill that arena. But yeah, you're right. There won't be a game that's a quote neutral game in somebody's backyard. Louisville is coming to our backyard, and it's after football season, so hopefully our fan base really shows up for that in Fort Worth. That would be a great thing if we can claim the majority of fans there.
That's a place where Dickies Arena. We've seen an NCAA regional. We've seen some fun one-off games like this one, and then that's got good sight lines, Ashley, for some of the bro country music that you so adore. And I know you've seen some good concerts there. You get to put the boots on and really get out and about.
Never seen a concert there. I did see a concert in Germany, Amos Lee. Do you know Amos Lee? That was Art Brau's favorite musician. He's good.
What kind of music is that? Amos Lee, what is that? What genre is that?
Blues, kind of
really?
Blues, yeah.
I didn't even know Art liked music. That's good. Boy, those are the nuggets you bring.
That's right. Yeah.
Amos Lee. That's good. I thought
Germany. In front of 200 people in a beer garden. That was special. We had Malbear.
Yeah.
Malbear was getting into him. Malbear's like, who is this guy? Donald Wright. And he's like, I don't even know this guy. And by the end of the night, he's like top 5 concert. That was amazing. So Donald was a big fan.
Donald was asleep within 10 minutes. I would say when the folks at SicEm365, who I love, and I was a part of that thing a little bit. I mean, y'all were kind enough to get me involved in the early days. But when people come after me, the great Michael Mathises of the world or Blair Browning, like some of my people will come in there and they'll have Mosley's back, which is nice. Malbear is not to be seen in those moments. Very close friend of mine, but I've noticed he just kind of sits that out. Maybe
he would have to actually get on the message board to have that on his radar. But I think he's an occasional message board guy, but he does support the site, so we're appreciative.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I'm back involved, and I always know it because it'll hit a certain account, and I'm like, oh, there's my monthly payment to Ashley. But yeah, we appreciate the support. Yes, my money has kept this thing afloat for years. No,
we need it because I got 2 at Baylor right now, so that's as you know, you got one at A&M. That's not cheap either, but the Baylor tuition is keeping me on my toes. Let's put it that way.
Well, and by the way, Ashley is one of America's really, really strong financial advisors. So if you've got some extra money laying around, I would keep him in mind. And even some of the people that went to Germany with you, those were some folks that have been very successful investing with you. So there's a little plug for Ashley on that front. But mostly he's just dedicated to his love of Baylor. Yeah. Ashley, this is fun. The only thing we could have done if we had gotten another voice on here, our old buddy Weston, and believe it or not, Weston turned 40 recently.
I saw
In fact, they had like a surprise party for him. Weston Rogers, I believe Grace threw that for him, and maybe up in the Rockwall, that area. So shout out to Weston, who we did some podcasting with in the early days of SicEm365. Y'all have been extremely successful. And so shout out to all the people out there. Who's the one guy it's not the Red Rocket, but what is he? Red Bear, Red, what is that guy's name? I always like him. He's always hosting things like in New Orleans. What's that guy's name?
Yeah, Mike.
Like that, Redfish, some of those guys. Just shout out to all you guys. Even Colt. Colt get mad at me every once in a while, but I love Colt.
Well, I tell you, Weston and I did an interview with a guy named Stacy Cole, who was a Baylor basketball player in the 1950s. He passed away this past year, but we linked that interview when he passed away, and it's just really cool that we had that because this guy was just an unbelievable, encyclopedia of Baylor sports knowledge. He went by set shot on the message boards. And so anyway, Weston was a part of that and was really the prompting of getting that done. So shout out to Weston Rogers.
That's a good one. I'm glad. That's a good callback. And that guy, and then I used to love it when the great Larry Gatewood, he'd get involved and do some stuff.
I talk to Larry all the time, man. He's still going strong.
Larry's got some opinions. I went to college with his daughter, Leslie. So lots of great Baylor people on that site, SicEm365. You'll see Ashley and some of his talented team will be able now to join the Mosley show. I don't know if that's in the contract yet or not, Ashley, but we'll see. And I'll obviously I'll Venmo you for this one. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
The time. Thank you.
There he goes, Ashley Hodge, the founder and managing director. I don't know what you call it, but he's the grand poobah over there at SicEm365. He and Colt, of course, Brian Etheridge, all great friends of mine. Over at SicEm. And shout out to all the message boarders over there, over the forum over there. I surf through there occasionally and see kind of what's going on. And Ashley's always kind enough to comment on my Scott Drew interviews and when I interview some of the players and everything. And he does a really great job on Baylor basketball coverage. Right now, on the football side of things, Grayson, Levi, Colt, Sam, all of them do a really excellent job. So good to have them on. And tell you what we'll do. We got some NFL thoughts to share with you. Well, that was a good long visit with Ashley. I don't know if I had warned him we'd be talking that long. I've got some NFL reactions. We'll set you up as the Cowboys now get to work for a big Sunday noon game this week, but also reacting to yesterday's NFL action and a couple of more nuggets on Baylor SMU, all coming up next.
Are you ready to take control of your health? At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. Say goodbye to long waits and office visits. Check your health on your own terms with 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today and free yourself from traditional medicine. That's the number 4uhealth.com. Get ready for epic savings at Best Buy. Right now, you can save up to $700 on select Alienware and Dell gaming products. Perfect for leveling up your gaming experience. Plus, grab the latest Android Google Pixel at an unbeatable price. Don't miss these incredible deals. Shop now at bestbuy.com and upgrade your tech today. At Fullwell, we bring together the expertise of registered dietitians, MDs, and OBGYNs to give you the best fertility support. Our research-backed bioavailable formulas are crafted with your health in mind, ensuring the highest quality and safety. From preconception to pregnancy and beyond, we exceed industry standards with independent testing for harmful contaminants. With our comprehensive practitioner directory, personalized care is always within reach. Fullwell, your trusted partner on your fertility journey. Visit us at fullwellfertility.com. Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. We put every machine through 6,000 rigorous tests to guarantee long-lasting performance. With cutting-edge technology and a commitment to energy efficiency, Gevi makes your life easier, greener, and more convenient. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at gevi.com to discover more. That's gevi.com.
Have you ever watched true crime television and wondered, how did they get that story?
I can show you. I was a producer for 48 Hours on CBS News.
In my exclusive tell-all book, I'll take you where no audience has ever gone before. Don't miss out. Secure your copy of Killer Story, The Truth Behind True Crime Television today. Available everywhere books are sold.
With San, owning iconic furniture no longer requires paying a premium. We use the finest materials like Italian top-grain leather, known for its durability and luxurious feel, and apply meticulous attention to detail in every piece we create. Our replicas are crafted with the same care and precision as the originals, but a price that makes them accessible. With over 15,000 satisfied customers worldwide, we've proven that high-quality furniture doesn't have to come with a high price tag. Explore our collection today at sarn.com.
At Covers & All, we've revolutionized protective solutions with cutting-edge, customizable covers, tarps, and curtains. Using advanced tech fabrics that are 100% waterproof, UV tear, and abrasion-resistant, we ensure lasting durability with hand-sewn double-stitch seams. Our commitment to quality, precision engineering, and customizable options is unmatched. With vertically integrated operations and express shipping, we deliver premier protection at affordable prices. Visit coversandall.com today for the perfect fit, guaranteed to last.
We haven't been looking for you. Wake up.
Hellhound Country, available anywhere you get your podcasts. Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. Whether at home or on the go, NordVPN ensures your digital freedom. Stay secure. Download NordVPN today at nordvpn.com. That's NORDVPN.com.
It is Matt Mosley's show every day, live, YouTube show. It's all, of course, every platform you can imagine. Spotify, Apple, the whole gamut. And it's 1 to 3 every day. And we're growing this show. We're growing our Green and Gold Game Day show. Remember Scotty's show, Please Bear With Me. It went away, and then he brought it back, and everybody was very excited about that. It's got Ganaway involved in that, the great Baylor running back.
By the way, selfish plug. Can I selfishly plug this real quick? We have that is a show. When that show was a podcast from 2016 to 2020, it never had a form that was consistent. We were always changing how we were doing it to try to find a form. Matt, the last 2 episodes we've done of that show, Ganaway and I, are some of it's the best I have felt about doing Baylor content ever. Like, I think we've really found a pace and a groove and a way to do it that people will find worth listening to. So
good. I like it. I mean, I don't want you to pour too much emotion into that show where you don't have anything left for the Mosley show. This is your focus, sir. But yeah, that's a good show. And I mean, it's Baylor content. It's 2 great guys, and one of whom was a star player. And I don't really see, and one who's opinionated and has honestly just I've watched how they used to use him at SicEm and other places, and you can just tell he's just gotten better at like knowing how to present his thoughts and opinions. And he's like a lot of us. He would get kind of emotional after games, and I'm sure he said things that Baylor didn't love. But the truth is, you want the real deal. You want people who are real, and that's what we try to do. Now, we understand that we've got an incredible relationship with Baylor, and we're not going to be out there. We're not going to be crazy. We're not going to just go off whole hog and like some people do and just say idiotic stuff. But yeah, we tell it like it is. And we love Baylor, and there'll be a lot of Baylor content. We also do a lot of NFL and some other things. And I did want to say, Scotty, yesterday's, and you were recovering from that wedding, and you had a lot of good work to put in there, and you had to come back from Mount Pleasant. You were probably wanting to get back into town, see your little girl, all the things that have to go on. I would just say last night, I hope you were able to take in what ended up being another barn burner. I mean, it had elements of the whole Baylor SMU game. You had a team that was up 40-25 with just a few minutes left in the game, and it looked like it was over, and that the Ravens should have put that thing away, and the Bills came rolling back and win that thing 41-40 at the gun. And that's fun when you get to see 2 MVP candidates at the peak of their powers. I mean, that's pretty awesome. When you get to see Lamar running and throwing, and that catch that DeAndre Hopkins made at age 33, incredible play that he made. And then Josh Allen was just given one too many chances. he played the role of Sawyer Robertson, and he comes rolling back down the field. And some of it was luck, like what happened for the Mustangs on that tip ball the other day. 4th and 2. That game should have been over. Ball gets tipped in the end zone, and Coleman makes the catch for Buffalo. And they end up winning that thing 41-40. I mean, that's two. I mean, are those the two best teams in the AFC? You can make an argument. I mean, Chiefs did not look great in week 1. Never write off the Chiefs because of Mahomes and everything else. Never write them off. Everybody's always quick to say, oh, the Chiefs are in trouble. We'll see. We'll see. Get back to me in November if you think the Chiefs are going to be in trouble. If they get anywhere near the playoffs, you know what the Chiefs are going to do because that's when they elevate their games. But that last night was a lot of fun to watch. I hope everybody was dialed in for that one as you just had all that kind of. And the other great game was Jets and Steelers. Jets are up 26-17. They're feeling good about things. And here comes Aaron Rodgers. And he made great throws, great plays. And you had some mistakes on both sides. But in the end, of course, DK Metcalf made a huge play that I remember from that game. That was awesome. That was awesome. And, you know, Aaron Rodgers was able to basically kind of wave at the crowd, do the whole, act like he, was trying to hear from them. And then after the game, Scotty, you saw what he said. He was like, I like sticking that to everybody in the Jets organization. But for Aaron Glenn's first game to come out and with Fields throwing up that many points, 34-32 was that game. I think even the Jets have to feel pretty good about that kind of offensive performance. I'll tell you who feels embarrassed is the Miami Dolphins. They lose 33-8 to the Colts. And, Scotty, if the Colts didn't go out there with Danny Dimes and Daniel Jones, who were like, whatever. I mean, some of the same stuff that would tease the Giants fans over the years, he was getting it done. I mean, he had his receivers were making plays for him. And then that Colts defense, Tua was just throwing it right to him. He airmails a deep throw, interception. He underthrows a ball across the middle, interception. 33-8, embarrassing performance by the Dolphins in week 1. And there you go. And the Giants go to the land of the commander. And wow. I mean, it's 14-6 for most of the game. Let's not act like it was a blowout or anything like that. Finally, the Commanders late have a really nice play. Who was that? Debo? Did they hand that ball off to Debo? I think so. On kind of a little quick toss or a little end around. Debo takes the handoff and races that thing in. Looks great. They put him up 21-6. Giants looked embarrassing. Malik Neighbors, their really good wide receiver, he was embarrassed. There's talk about a quarterback change. Russell couldn't get anything done. Dan Quinn had it going on pretty good. Now, other big game that we were keeping our eye on, NFL-wise. Scotty, the Green Bay Packers take on the Detroit Lions. All eyes were on Micah Parsons. What would he be like? They wait till an obvious pass rush situation to put him in second or third series, might have been the third series, and first play on the field beats Penei Sewell, all-pro right tackle, beats him on an inside move, flushes Goff out of the pocket. He's forced into a short throw. Series is over. Later in the game, he beats a double team, comes on a bull rush. I mean, he's just so fast. Nothing can stop him. Then he comes around and he chases Goff down. You say, well, Goff's not very fast. Well, but again, he came from the opposite side of the field, chased him down. He looked good. He had 22 pass rushes on pass rushing type downs, three pressures, a sack. He looked fine. And oh, by the way, the Lions couldn't run the ball at all. That's the whole reason he's out of doubt. Oh, my God. hurts us in the run game. Couldn't stop anybody in the run game. We've actually gotten better in the run game. And even the people announcing that game, Nance and Tony, were trying to kind of give credence to what Jerry Jones did. Because apparently the one of the teams, like the Lions, were saying, oh, they're glad Kenny Clark's gone. I mean, it was almost kind of some gamesmanship type stuff. Once Micah was on the field, he was Micah. Was he worth $47 million a year? I don't know if anybody is. That's not a non-quarterback. I don't know if anybody is. But if he's going to come on and help them, and he certainly didn't hurt. I mean, did I actually finish that statement? I rarely do. I mean, Scotty, the Lions, who have Jahmyr Gibbs and others, they ran for 48 yards. So you're going to act like the presence of Micah somehow hurt you against the run? They held him to 48 yards. It's an embarrassment. So, Scotty, first time at Lambeau. First game at Lambeau with the Packers. I think everything went fine. I mean, it's not like he played a ton of snaps, but just think about that. Misses the entire Cowboys training camp. Oh, I've got some back issues, this or that. He looked fine out there, Scotty, and quite honestly, the Packers look scary. Jordan Love looked great. I still don't even know his receivers. Does he have somebody Wicks? Does he have somebody named Reed? Does he have they're so great. I mean, they've got good on defense. That's scary. Like if the Packers suddenly are good on defense, it kind of looks like they are. That's another scary team in the NFC.
Listen, Matt, I had to go on the Zach Owens show last week, part of the Rogue Media Network, and make my Super Bowl prediction for the year. And I picked the Packers to win the NFC, certainly in large part due to what Micah Parsons could do for this team. Listen, he played a third of the snaps, and he was second on the team in pressures and got a sack. Like he is one of the 5 best players in the NFL. I don't think that's an exaggeration. And Pete asked me this morning on his show. He said, the Cowboys actually looked really good against the Eagles last Thursday. They looked really cohesive. They looked like there was a lot of positive team things happening. And he was like, maybe getting Micah out of there got rid of the toxicity. And I just thought that was the most, I love Pete so much. You know that. I thought that was asinine. I was like, Pete, we're adults. 2 things can be true at once. The Cowboys did look better Thursday night than I thought, and they would look even better if they had Micah Parsons on the field. And that trade was horrible. Like, both things are true. The Packers are definitely, to me, one of the 2 or 3 favorites in the NFC.
Okay. Yeah. And plus people were playing. I made a joke. Let me see. I had a decent Packers Lions tweet. This is a new feature, Scotty, where I read my own tweets.
All right.
I think this is really going to go over well. This Heisman, my Heisman take, that thing's kind of jumped out there. It's got about 10,000. I said when RG3 was in the Heisman hunt, BU football's PR staff lined him up with regional national interviews along the way. That's not something Dave Aranda is likely to allow with Sawyer Robertson in the coming weeks. Dave should change his tune on this stance. We're pushing 10,000 on that, 10,000 views on that tweet. I thought, Scotty, I just try to make you and Pete laugh, basically, and all our friends. After the Packers-Lions game, I tweeted, the Packers run D somehow held up despite the presence of Micah Parsons. Hard to believe. Of course, some people don't understand my sarcasm and thought I was being, but I was being serious, but also, being funny or trying to be funny. Scotty, that one did 25.4 thousand views. All right. Now that was not something we did recently, Scotty. We got golly, what was that? It was like a Micah take or something. We put something. Oh, that thing I did where Jason Garrett, I just filmed him after the game doing a spitting commentary. Like he talked to Mike after the game, and I filmed it with my phone, and I just put it out there thinking, I don't know, I just thought it was interesting, which is, if you know me, that's amazing that I could even pull that off. Like film something with my phone off my TV and then put that on social. Like that's a pretty huge victory for the Mosley family. That one got, Scotty, nope, that's not anybody's counting, but over 100,000 views last time I looked. So we're really trying to put some things out. So yeah, Scotty, I want you to do that. We'll have a graphic, Scotty's tweet of the day and Mosley's tweet of the day. When you have one you like, Scotty, you just read it. And when I have one,
all right,
yeah, that used to, I think Simcox and Sex, yeah, they used to get a kick out of that I would read my own tweet.
Now, let me remind you, Mosley, I am happy to display your tweet of the day if I know in advance that it's going to be read aloud.
Well, no, I require you to follow me at all times, and you have to. If I have a good one, I expect you to catch it, sir. Although you do have a lot. My gosh, I mean, if Zach, and by the way, you've got to learn how to say no. The other night, it like Jason, somebody overnight guy for Fox. He's a nice guy. Jason, you've heard him for years on national radio. Jason something.
Jason Smith.
Yeah, I like the guy.
Excellent. He's excellent on the radio. Yeah.
And they're like, we need you. We need you. And I just said, listen, I got a podcast to tape. If I get through with that, I'll try to help you guys. And you know what? When I was through with it, I forgot. And I didn't, and I wasn't trying to be rude. I just couldn't get to it. So Scotty, be willing to say no occasionally. All right. Because they'll take as much of a pound of flesh as they can. But
well, Matt, I'm just trying to be like you one day. I want Jason Smith calling me when Sawyer Robertson wins the Heisman so I can give him the scoop. I'm just trying to be like you, bro.
I like it when you call me bro. All right, buddy. It's been a strong showing. It's been a strong Monday. It is the Mosley Show. And shout out to the landing, the Brazos Landing. We talk about them at the end of every show. The Bang Bang Shrimp. I mean, we used to call this the dismount at the end of the show. But, man, I love talking about the Lindsay family. I like the chicken fried steak. I'll go in there and I'll get that salad with strawberries. I'll get some of that blackened chicken on there. You can get salmon on the salad if you want. I think that thing's called like a harvest salad. I got to look again. That's a beautiful salad. But I love so much of what they serve at the Brazos Landing. It's been a fun Monday. It's fun when the Bears win. It's fun when I'm talking about the Baylor Bears, of course. It's fun when the Cowboys win. We don't have a lot of those weekends. But when the Bears win and the Cowboys win, boy, Monday becomes like whoa, that's a huge day. All right, Scotty and I will be helping. Baylor's got to really ramp up this Heisman campaign. But, hey, Sawyer's doing his part. Sawdog, they call him. And I see that they're spelling it Sawdog like S-A-W-D-A-U-G. So maybe that's how we'll go. But shout out to Brazos Landing. Shout out to our presenting sponsor, CNB, Central National Bank. You see the commercials. They do a great job, and they're open all the time. It's unbelievable. Like late at night, you can call up there and talk to somebody, like till 10 at night. And then their bank tellers are just out there just like, hey, does anybody want to come by here like 7 or 8 tonight? We'll stay here. They do an incredible job. It is Central National Bank. For the great Scotty Swingler and Corey Dickman and the Z-Man and the powers that be at Rogue Media Network, I am Matt Mosley. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock.